Hello and good evening, y'all. It's your host, Kim. Thank you for tuning in again to the Self-Love Witch podcast. I'm very excited about today's episode because finally, as a Scorpio I am, if you guys have any Scorpio hate, I'm sorry to disappoint. But if you like this podcast, that means you actually do like Scorpios because it's a Scorpio hosting this podcast. But I digress. In the spirit of the moon in Scorpio, you guys, I wanted to release a special episode, of course, on the things that, Scorpios love most: sensuality, sexuality, things of that nature. Today, I am elated. I'm elated, y'all. Y'all don't know how long. I literally did so much prep for this episode. So let me dive into it. I wanted to give you guys video format. However, I'm still waiting on my equipment to come in, so bear with me. We're going to be soon, in our live sessions. I'm going to be, I have the TikTok launched, the Self-Love Witch podcast, if you guys want to follow. I want to start doing lives there. I want to start doing Instagram lives. I want to start interacting with you guys. I want to start doing YouTube live podcast sessions. I really want to interact with you guys like live. I really want to get it very, very live and in effect. But I digress. Today's episode is about, of course, don't be afraid of your sensuality. Don't be afraid of it. Let me pull out my pink fan right now. Hopefully y'all can hear it pop. Let's see. I'm feeling very fabulous today. Go ahead and, do y'all hear it? Child, it was $1 fan. It broke, but it's so cute. You guys, don't be afraid of your sensuality. Don't be afraid to be sexy. Don't be afraid to fulfill your own senses. And I want to say this: sensuality is going to look so different for everybody. I feel like that's a disclaimer I want to put out before I even begin. I don't want people to think, when I think of sensuality, I'm thinking of, do this and do that. And I want to define what sensuality is first, because I think sometimes it gets confused. It's a very different thing from sexuality. So the definition of sensuality, I use, our good friend Google. It says sensuality is the expression or enjoyment or the pursuit of pleasure. Any kind of pleasure, physical, emotional, spiritual. I feel like, sensuality goes beyond the body. So I did a little bit more research, and I like to define sensuality as the art of pleasing the senses, because we have so many senses. We have so many things that take place into our experience with pleasure, but let's not even play and sit around here like I'm not going to be talking about intimacy or even just feeling sexy within ourselves, because honey, we're grown. We're very, very grown. I mean, or at least I hope everyone listening to this is grown and able to make smart choices sexually, being mindful, being selective with who you share yourself with energetically. But yeah, like the senses are so slept on. I feel like, especially now in our culture right now, because everything is so like detached, that I feel like sensuality really gets placed on the back burner a lot. I personally, as a Scorpio, as a woman who is very in tune with herself, I need that. Like sensuality, I need that build up, even with my day-to-day life. Like I don't like nothing rushed. I like the build up. I don't like nothing quick. I don't like it depends. I don't like anything that doesn't give me a full-blown experience. You know what I mean? So why did I bring this up as a topic within the soft girl era? Why do you say? Well, One, like I said, we're women. We have beautiful flowers down there that, require stimulation. And I'm talking about the stimulation that goes beyond, physically stimulating it. But we're going to get on that in this episode, of course, because I cannot leave that out, okay? So let me start here. So sensuality versus sexuality. I already defined what I feel like sensuality means. The pleasing of the senses, the expression, the enjoyment, and the pursuit of pleasure. Sexuality, to me, when I think of sexuality, I'm thinking of the act of having sex or being intimate. And just like the things that go behind that, as far as, they can definitely play hand in hand with each other, because they do. They're a part of each other. But, I feel like it's important to draw the line between them sometimes, because especially in our society, I feel like I said before, it's everything is so sexualized. Nothing's wrong with sex, but can we please bring back, y'all remember, the 90s music, that era where they were just like, my body, all those good songs that were like a nice build up. It was so sensual. It was nice. It was like, yeah, let me get you in that energy. To me, that's what sensuality is. When you're chilling and a song comes on that's nice and gets you in that groove, and it's like you feel yourself getting to that. I feel like it's like the build up towards pleasure. I feel is how I define the sensuality, right? So I want to talk about not being afraid of our sensuality, because it's a build-up. It's a build-up process. And with us as women, I can talk very much so about myself, because I relate to this so much. For a while, I was very afraid of my sensuality. Very, very afraid of my sensuality. Because for me, I feel like I was definitely the personification of the ugly duckling story. And I say that because when I was growing up, y'all, I was bullied. I was not, I'm very social. I'm very I know a lot of people. I'm very confident. People would never guess that growing up, I was a very I was always social. I was always, that girl, let's speak clearly. But no, seriously, I was definitely one of those girls that I was quiet, but I was still social with, the right amount of people. I was very confident still, nonetheless. However, I dealt with a lot of people trying to dim my confidence and trying to dim my, just my energy, my confidence, everything. So growing up, I didn't really have examples of, besides watching my mother and the women in my family, I didn't have many examples of seeing women being very confident in their energy a lot, because I was always to myself pretty much growing up. I was very much so an isolated kind of person. I didn't become social until maybe junior year, to be quite honest. I was always like a social butterfly, but when it came to really caring about that didn't start till way later. But I was afraid of my sensuality because I was a late bloomer. I was a late bloomer. I was definitely one of those people. I'm putting my business out here today. I did not lose my virginity until I was 20, 21. I was a very late bloomer. I wasn't introduced to much intimacy with other people, but I was always a self-pleasurer. And I pride myself on that, because I really do feel like that kept me out of a lot of unnecessary connections, because I wasn't trying to depend on others to give me satisfaction. I knew how to please myself. From an age-appropriate age. Let's say that here. And I really feel like it helped me become less afraid of my sensuality and to become very in tune with just my sensual energy and learning my body and learning what I liked and just learning what I needed to be in that energy. Not only that, it was such an experience for me to really learn what pleasure was for me, and not only that, I can go on forever. Not only that, I gotta hold this. However, I feel like that alone kept me out of a bunch of nonsense, and it really taught me to treasure that flower. It really taught me to treasure, this blessing that we hold between our legs. It really taught me to really treasure it. So, why is it necessary in this journey, and how did I overcome being afraid of my sensuality? There are levels to this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've come to the point where I'm definitely not afraid of my sensuality. There is a point where when you know what works for you and just what works with your aura and what works with, your own personal je ne sais quoi, because we all have a je ne sais quoi about ourselves. It's just about being able to tap into that energy. I don't know if you guys have ever been out and about. We see lots of women. Who are walking around here every day. But there's always like particular women that you just look at, and they don't even necessarily look different from everybody, but their aura is different. The way they carry themselves is different. It exudes a energy that it's like it demands respect. It demands attention. It demands. It's so alluring. I've seen women that, and this is completely away from attraction, things like that. It's just an energy, a sensual energy that I feel like is so beautiful when women tap into it, because not only is it beautiful to see and alluring to witness, it can even be mind-blowing sometimes, because I see women all the time that have these auras of just like power. And I may define power differently than other people. I think I usually like women who know how to demand a room and don't even have to say anything. I'm not opposed to women who come in a room and completely yell at the top of their lungs to demand attention. I feel like both are necessary to embody at times. But I'm always completely enamored by the woman who could just walk in a room and just demand attention and just have this energy about her where it's like, yeah, you're going to treat me differently. And not only that, I'm in tune with myself. You can look at a woman, you can tell if she's in tune with herself. And I feel like that comes hand in hand with sensuality, because, if you're able to please your senses, if you're able to acknowledge that energy within yourself and that action within yourself, do you know how much power you have, not only with just, day-to-day life, but just with your being able to control your energy, being able to use it in ways to benefit yourself, especially with manifestation, especially with healing, alchemizing energy, transmuting energy. There have been so many times that I have sat with myself and I've used my sensual energy to completely visualize another reality, or even just appeasing my senses, which, we could talk about. One of the things I love is touch, So, like, I had this feather. I don't even know what you call this thing, guys. Like, I really need to get versed in this stuff. But it's those contraptions where it's just like a long stick with a feather to where you can use to, like, just create that sensation of just grazing across your body. And those sensations are just, they can be turned into so much magic if you just know how to use that energy that you feel, that bliss, that ecstasy. If you know how to use that energy and really use it to really push forward whatever it is that you're needing to do. I'm a Scorpio, so obviously I am very big on sex magic, okay? I feel like sex magic is one of the most powerful, if done correctly. When I tell you, I'm speechless. It can change your life. It can really change your life. And you don't always need somebody there to have a very alchemizing, world-changing experience with learning how to use that energy and using it both in the bedroom and outside of it. So, it's necessary because one, as women, sensuality, sexuality is a part of our human nature. You know what I mean? We are naturally sensual. We are naturally in tune with our bodies. We are naturally in tune with our energies. It just gets knocked out of us with society and just the world and stress and trauma and all that. And, the reason why I created this series was because I wanted it to be a kind of coming back home to self for our feminine nature, which is naturally wild and free, which is naturally sensual, which is naturally filled with pleasure and filled with such deep mystery and such beauty. I really wanted to create a space where we're talking about these things and we're bringing it back. I want to take our stuff back. I want to take, let me not do that too close. I want to take our stuff back. Like, give me my stuff. Give me my stuff. Y'all already trying to tell me, my body's not good enough. Y'all already trying to tell me I need to look a particular way. Y'all already telling me I got to operate in this kind of energy to be somebody, to do this, to do that. When it comes to my sensuality will not be policed. My sensuality will not be policed. My sexuality will not be policed. My sensuality is so important to me. And it's such a big process in my life that I wanted to make an episode about it, because it's a part of my soft girl era. It's a part of my soft life that I commit to for myself. Certain things I just will not bend on, and that's one of them. Just being able to stay in tune with myself and being able to slow down, for me, is a big part of my sensuality. And I'm going to go back around to this not being afraid aspect, because I feel like I need to speak to somebody right now. Let me get into my sensuality preacher mode right now, because right now I feel like I need to speak to somebody. You have to define what everything is for yourself in this world. And by that, I mean everything. Because if you let the world define every single word and every single idea and every single concept, and you just adhere to that, you will never really experience the true beauty of being yourself and being you. You'll never understand the true necessity and the true reason why it just, you had to be here. The reason why you had to, the reason why you had to be born, the reason why you had to be placed here. Because we're all having such unique experiences. We're all like such unique beings, and we're expressing and experiencing things in such unique ways. Even when it comes to our sensuality, even when it comes to life, when it comes to anything, we all have such unique ways, and there's so much beauty in it. And I'd hate for us as women, or just as a people, to just be so inclined to adhere to the norm or adhere to definitions that people slap in a book, or that people slap on your back, or that people slap in your head growing up, that you can't even realize it's like a magnet that you place on the fridge. Somebody slapped it there, but you could take that shit off. You could take it off. You could take it off. You could put another thing on there. You don't have to put nothing on there if you don't want to. We really do the arts and crafts around here. And if I don't stand for anything else, it's definitely that. Define life on your own terms. Define your sensuality on your own terms. You know, fall in love with yourself, fall in love with your energy, fall in love with your body, fall in love with figuring out what appeals to your senses, your physical sense. What do you like to see? What do you like to smell? What do you like to touch? What do you like to feel? You know what I mean? What do you like to hear? And I feel like when you figure that out, that's when you're able to figure out what sensuality is for you, and to find ways to express that in your day-to-day life. Because like I said, it's not only just about intimacy. It's not just about, sexual energy. It's also about your day-to-day. Let's say, for instance, for me personally, one of the ways that I feel like I express my sensuality within myself is when I want to have my me time. My go-tos that I must have some incense burning, preferably, because I am big on my senses. I love the smell of vanilla. I love the smell of a musk type of smell, a sweet musk, of anything floral, jasmine. I love things like that. I love candles. I like dim lighting. I don't like bright lighting. I love flowers. So I legit will create a sensual space for me when I want to get in that energy of just relaxation, but also coming into my own energy and, appealing to those senses, because that, I feel like when you are in touch with your sensuality, it's way easier for you to manifest, because you know how to appeal to your senses so much, to the point where when it comes time to you to use your energy and to tuning to yourself, because you've mastered that, because you become so regular with tapping into your senses, you're able to manifest at a faster rate. And I kid you not, y'all, this is real. Like, I am not BSing you right now, because I am the type of person, I can legit, if I am within my energy and I am feeling at ease within myself, within my body, within my essence, I could be doing nothing that day and I could say, I really wish that I would run into this kind of product at the store, because I haven't seen it in years. And I kid you not, I go out that day and I will run into it randomly. And I have seen that happen with myself. I've seen that happen with other women that I know are also very in tune with themselves, where they can just speak. And that goes in terms with just realizing your power, right? Because when you have the power of the tongue, which I know is one of my gifts, when you have the power of tongue, and you have to literally watch what you say, because the things that you say are so powerful, especially when you're able to tune into your energy and you've become a master at it, it will come forth. So I know that comes from dabbling in my sensual energy. And I know that definitely came from just being in tune with myself from a very young age, and practicing the art of sensuality, and just of learning myself when it came to my senses and my energy. And it's a real thing, you guys. It's a real thing. I would really love to encourage you guys, and you can do this off the record. We don't have to tell nobody. You don't even have to tell me. But if you want to take just a nice evening where you just sit with yourself and you're like, I'm going to appeal to my senses. So whatever things you like that make that smell good, that get you, senses of smell are going off. For me, I love, silky, very soft, very plush kind of fabrics in my bedroom. So for me, that's huge. And within my rooms, that's very huge for me. So find things that go with that touch, and then, find things that you like to see, your favorite color. Maybe get a little color light. Get that whole thing going, you guys, and relax. And do your thing however you do your thing. You get where I'm going with this. Do your thing however you do your thing. Self-pleasure, baby. I'm all for it. And I encourage self-pleasure because it's a way to learn yourself. I've always been an advocate for self-pleasuring because, of course, you have a lot of fun with other people. That's like a whole different subject. But we're tuning into self. This is called the Self-Love Witch podcast. So that self-pleasuring aspect, I'm very pro, very advocate. I will always be an advocate until the day that I am transitioned into the ancestral realm. I will always vouch. Even up there, I will vouch for self-pleasure. And I, get in that zone and then visualize what it is that, when that orgasm is coming, that climax is coming, I want you to visualize that energy as it builds up. And I want you to visualize the feeling that you've been wanting to feel lately, whatever it is. Not the thing, not the person, not the place, but the emotion that you've been craving, as far as the reason you're desiring that thing or desiring whatever the case is. And get in that emotion, get in that energy. And then right after that, go ahead and just write in your journal. Or go ahead and just sit, meditate for a little bit. Go out and live your day. And tell me you don't have something magical occur to you that day. Or that following day. Tell me. And you know what? And I want to hold you guys accountable. Slide in my DMs. The Self-Love Witch podcast. Slide in my DMs and let me know. And I'm going to put a poll here too. Or a survey, a questionnaire that you guys can come back to and let me know. You can send me an email. You can DM me personally, anonymously, and let me know you guys' experience. Because I know I cannot be the only one that experiences that kind of stuff. It is so amazing to me. It's like life-changing, and I want us all to experience that because there's a world of magic that a lot of us are missing out on because we're afraid to really tap into that side of ourselves and just afraid to tap into that energy that is within us that we kind of put aside. Don't be afraid of your sensuality. Don't be afraid to demand attention. Okay? If you know you have an energy and aura about you that demands attention wherever you go, let it be that. It's okay if you have lots of admirers, don't question it. That's fine, baby. You are a light. You are an energy that is very magnetic. When you know that about yourself, carry yourself a specific way so that, you're attracting what you like. However, be aware you're going to attract all types of things when you are a light. That's just a fact. It's just about what you accept that's going to really be the defining factor, right? So don't be afraid to just shine. Don't be afraid to be sexy. Don't be afraid to be in your sensual energy every day of your life. That's all right. That's okay. I don't know about y'all. I told y'all. As you can see, I'm a soft girl advocate, man. Soft living is my thing. I feel like it is my duty to sit here and express and vouch for women to slow down because I'm so tired of seeing women stressed out. I feel like it's my life's calling to tell women to slow down because I've literally watched women literally practically just drain themselves to the bone because of their their empathetic nature and because of the beautiful feminine things that we are. However, it's like I don't like all this self-sacrificial stuff that I'm seeing lately. I don't like it. I'm not for it. I want us to be in our power. I want us to know our power. I want us to know that power looks different for everybody. There's power in slowing down. There's power in being soft. There's power in knowing when to turn that soft stuff off. There's power in just knowing yourself. That's the biggest thing I'm an advocate for, just knowing yourself and being an advocate for yourself and standing up for yourself and protecting yourself and liberating yourself, in this kind of world that we're in, right? So don't fear your own sensual energy. Don't be afraid of your flower. because it's a beautiful thing. It's blooming every day. Don't neglect her. Treat her right. Show her some love. Show her that, you care about her. Show her that she is the one for you. She is the only girl for you. Because you know what? You have to put divine respect on that yoni. You have to put divine respect on that. We have to put very much so a lot of respect on that flower, okay? Because one, we all came from one. Catch my drift, we all came from one. That alone, that power, that knowing that we have what people come from. I don't know about y'all, but I wake up every day feeling like a sensual creatress that literally, if I just tap into my energy, I can really change the whole dimensions of my world at any given moment. And sometimes you just need to be reminded of that power that you hold between your legs and that you hold within your energy. Just by knowing that how accessible it is through your flower and through just other aspects of knowing your own energy, right? So, I wanted to overcome the fear of our yoni, self-pleasure more, get some mirror work in, have butt naked days. There are days where I'm home alone and I'll just walk around my house, completely naked. It's my prerogative. It's something that I like to do. And I like to have all the mirrors in my house just, definitely facing me everywhere I walk. Because, and play my favorite songs and, get that energy going. Because creating a place of bliss, especially in your home, you guys, that's a part of my sensual process. Creating a sensual space within my home for myself. Like, my home is my sacred space. I don't play about like how it's decorated as far as like certain things that are like must-haves that I have to have to make sure when I come in my home, it does feel like a sacred space for me to feel like I can freely exist, where I can freely express myself, where I can freely be in my sensual energy. Because not only that, I'm a creatress, right? Like you guys see, like I create my podcast. I write. I do a lot of different things. I'm soon going to be launching a shop soon for you guys, by the way. Look out for that. There are a lot of things that I create. And I feel like if you are a creatress, being in touch with your sensuality is a big part of that. Especially if you're in the work that I am in when it comes to like, tapping into your feminine energy and exploring the mysteries of, womanhood and the mysteries of magic and the mysteries of intuition and spirituality. It's important to be in that energy and to, be very intentional with all of that. And I've been fanning myself this entire time with this fan, you guys. I'm in my energy. This is a pink peacock fan, you guys. Like, I'm definitely in my energy right now. But, yeah, you guys, use the mirror. The mirror is your friend. The mirror is your friend. The mirror is never your enemy. The mirror is your friend. I am a firm believer that the mirror is a portal, a divine portal. If you bless your mirrors, I don't know if you guys have ever done that before. Blessing your mirrors. I have a particular mirror that I use and that I bless and that I sanction as my mirror, that every time I look into it, I am just literally given this energy of I'm just like my most beautiful self. And it's like my aura does a whole flip, and especially if it's a day where I'm not really feeling in tune with myself, because I've blessed that mirror, because I know the intentions I put into it. It's a space for me to, especially on my days where I'm very much so tapping into my sensuality, I look into that mirror, and it's a very beautiful mirror. I'm very much so extra. I'm an extra girly kind of person. So my mirrors are not plain, not my mirrors that I bless. My mirrors that I bless are very much so giving royalty, because that's how I want to feel. You have to appeal to the senses. It's all about sensuality. Appeal to the sense of what do you like to see? What do you like to smell? What do you like to touch? I'm appealing to all those senses there, and that creates a better opportunity for me to just easily tap into that energy, easily tap into my creator's energy, easily tap into, just being in tune with my own energies. It's a very easy way when you just know how to appeal to your senses, right? So not only that, you learn your body, that's a part of the self-pleasure. You learn your body so much. You learn how to accept your body, because you're learning yourself. You're committing to learning yourself. You're committing to defining sensuality for yourself. It's a very, very beautiful process, right? So, the better we love ourselves and love on ourselves, and the better we welcome that energy within ourselves, because it is not something that is a separate thing from us. It's something that very much so it's always been a part of us. But through different scenarios and different experiences, it has been snatched from a few of us. But, I encourage you, tap into that sensual energy. Tap into that time where you slow down, you settle within yourself, you welcome the energy of seduction. And you can seduce in so many different ways. You can seduce when it comes to manifestation. You can seduce when it comes to just it's just a whole bunch of things you can do. I try to explain it in the best way possible for me. If I can give an example of it, on days where I'm feeling, like I want to be in an energy of complete flow, I want my days to be very magical. I want it to be very sensual. I'm a dress kind of woman, so I will put on a flowy dress that I feel very beautiful and elegant in, and very free and very me. And I'll do my hair, I'll do my makeup, and I'll get up and I'll just commit the day to doing things that appease to me, things that bring me happiness and joy. And to me, that is a big part of my sensuality, because I am pleasing myself, I'm pleasing my senses, I'm pleasing my bliss. It's the art and the expression of appeasing my pleasure. And those days feel like those days feel better than sex. They do. Now, this is not to put, to downplay sex, because sex is freaking beautiful if done with the right person. But the reason I say that is because that fulfillment that comes and you just know how to please yourself, it hits different, y'all. It hits different. And it goes beyond, the sexual pleasure, but it just hits so different. And even when we're out and about, even when I'm just interacting with people, I have been told that I have a very sensual energy about myself, and I've grown to accept it. I do see how people can think that I exude a lot of sexual energy because I dabble in it a lot, and plus I'm a Scorpio, so I feel like every Scorpio completely understands where I'm coming from. There are certain people who we have the gift of awakening that nature within people, and I feel like it's a beautiful thing. Do not sleep on it. Do not be afraid of it. Don't be ashamed of it either. Own it. And it starts with owning it by knowing yourself through the art of taking that, that journey. And it also comes from, self-pleasure. And it also comes from learning how to please yourself in more ways than one. And not being afraid of what comes with your personal sensuality journey. And don't be afraid of the energy that you start to possess, the power that you begin to gain, because you're learning how to alchemize your own energy and your own sensual energy. It's all right. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid. It's all right. It's going to be okay. different cycles of life, different entryways towards a different way of existing and a different way of manifesting and a different way of embodying yourself is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And it's nothing to be afraid of, for God's sakes. We're women. We're just a whole plethora of mystery, and we're always going to uncover some amazing thing about ourselves that completely goes against the grain of what society has taught us about ourselves. And just always be open to accepting and redefining yourself and redefining your bliss and your pleasure. So that's all I wanted to say here today, you guys. And I really hope that this episode really spoke to you guys. I hope that it made you feel as hot and bothered as me. Just talking about, sensuality just does something to me. Talking about the art of just manifesting and just using that sensual energy just really, really gets me going, you guys. I just feel freaking amazing. Okay, I got my fan going like this is the Renaissance. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like I said, don't be afraid to interact with the poll and the questionnaire that I'm going to have linked to this podcast, to this episode. Don't be afraid to reach out. I want to know you guys' experiences. Do not forget me, okay? Do not forget me. Let me know. You don't have to tell me all your details, but just let me know how it played out for you. I just want to know. I want to start talking about, the real deal life behind the scenes, the things that we're experiencing. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't be afraid to give this podcast a rating. Rate it 5 stars, honey. Hit that 5 stars. Stay magical, stay beautiful, stay sensual, stay sexy. And yeah, till next time. Peace.